Hi, ladies. Welcome back to Joy for Midlife Women. I'm your host, Cheryl Jones, and publisher of the Joy magazine. This program and the magazine are dedicated to you, helping you to live your best life and to embrace this stage of life with joy. If you'd like more information about the magazine, please go to my website at thejoymagazine.com. Today's program is about a service that at some point in time you may have needed, like legal service or counsel. I can think of times, a list of times, that I thought of I needed legal advice. And you know, some of those situations I would have went to a friend or a family member or someone that I trust to get a referral to legal counsel. But that may not always be possible. Sometimes they don't have a referral for you. So my guests today are two women, Gigi Martinez and Michelle Wilson, who have a business in Connecticut, Ladies of Justice, and they provide a legal service through LegalShield. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm very happy to have these ladies with me today to give us some background on LegalShield. And you may want to jot down a few questions as they come up. If they're not answered during the program, just give these ladies a contact. Their information will be available during the program. Welcome, ladies. So, Gigi and Michelle, please introduce yourselves.
Well, my name is Michelle Wilson. I'm a single mom of 4. I am a work-at-home mom as well as just being in this industry, helping people with the legal and identity theft protection services. It's very important to me. And once I found out about this company, I was just amazed that I did not know about it. Had I known about it before, I definitely would have taken a part of it. But I've been within the research administration for an amount of years in higher education. And yeah, so I'm here today with you guys to share the good news.
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. Well, my name is Gigi Martinez. My real name is Aura Lee. And I'm actually a single mom of a 23-year-old son. Actually, my background is in research administration, having worked at an Ivy League institution for close to 31 years, and I have since retired. Myself, I actually have lived in Puerto Rico at one point, so I'm very bilingual, so to speak. And so with that said, the first time I took a look at the information, it made sense to me as far as the legal protection, because I did not have a will for my son, and I wanted to make sure that he was taken care of. So as a single parent, that for me was very critical.
Very good. All right. So let's start at the top. What is LegalShield?
Well, LegalShield to me is the ability to able to pick up the phone and contact your attorney on many different areas of law, and just being able to have the confidence and comfortability with talking with an attorney with my situation and be able to figure out what my legal navigations are within my questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. And so LegalShield, how would that affect us in our everyday lives?
Basically, it's life events. You know,
Okay.
we live as we're doing life, things happen, and we want to make sure that we are protected. And just the basic concept of what LegalShield represents is basically the concept of an insurance. So you have an insurance for your vehicle, your home, your life insurance. So LegalShield basically is the assurance that the companies do what they're supposed to do and actually just protect our rights. So we have the right to have equal access to the justice system that everyone desires, but don't always get, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay. So can you give me an example of how a personal issue would be helped by LegalShield?
Sure. One of the examples that I personally witnessed was, as a business owner, I started an LLC, right? So I went through the navigations, and the attorney actually helped me with that. So as a brand new business owner, I was able to get advice on how to set up my LLC, and they actually went ahead and submitted the paperwork and so on for me. I definitely had to make sure that the fees were paid for the state to make sure that your LLC is in good standing. But I had a letter sent to me, and I was not sure about. And that letter, as a business owner, brand new, I wasn't sure if I was now. It sounded like I had done this already, what the letter said, but I wasn't sure. So a lot of times we always, check with people, or sometimes we just go ahead and do what the letter says, right? Without
right.
second guessing where it came from. So I took a picture of it. I sent it into my law firm right through my phone, and they called me back within 48 hours to understand the letter, when they told me, was a scam.
Wow.
It was a scam. So I was able to throw that out and not have to worry about paying that. And that, to me, was a sigh of relief because, I could have paid that, and I don't know what would have happened with what was to be paid or what could have been expected
Yeah.
after,
And that's something, so LegalShield can help business individuals, new business entrepreneurs. But there's always a legal side to it, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I know about that business formation. A lot of times they say you can do it easily online, but you don't get all the background help that you need,
No,
right?
no, absolutely.
So that's good. So that's the business side offerings for LegalShield, and there's personal. You help with our personal needs as well with
As
LegalShield.
well. Absolutely. What I wanted to add was the ID Shield, which is identity theft, which
Okay.
is so prevalent. It's probably the number one crime right now, especially during the
Yeah.
pandemic. And I just want to share a testimony from what happened to me. Was that I was a victim of 4 identity thefts.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And it had to do with unemployment claims. Just recently, I got a letter from the state of Maryland saying that someone was trying to collect unemployment in my good name. So having identity theft was, for me, was critical because I was able to get the legal advice from my private investigator, which is assigned to us as a member, and I was able to get that peace of mind and get the necessary help and counsel. Because it can lead, that's why the two of the ID Shield with the Legal Shield is so critical that we have, and they work together hand in hand, because sometimes identity theft can lead to a more serious situation where you need that kind of like coverage, that shield is what we call it.
Okay, I see that. So how many times I've heard, you have a couple of situations that you've talked about. One person could have all of these situations, right? So is there a limit to the number of times that you can contact LegalShield for assistance once you have their plan?
It's an unlimited
It's
number of
unlimited?
times that you can
Okay.
contact them. So let's say in the morning you have a real estate issue, and in the evening you're dealing with a pullover by a traffic cop, which obviously means you would have to go and be represented in court. Well, with our service, you're able to be represented by one of our attorneys in person. Now, most of our services are, just over the phone,
Okay.
but in that one area where you'll be able to have a traffic law attorney be able to represent you in court.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
have over the phone, online, access to legal service, as well as in person. Okay,
Exactly.
that's important, right? So what's the membership like? So if someone's interested in taking a membership with LegalShield, how would they do this?
So basically, you would actually obviously take the subscription-based service, which is a monthly cost. And we have the ability to actually just sign you up, make that connection with the attorney. In this case, once the application is downloaded, you're able to actually be able to talk to the attorney about whatever situation you might have. And in that case, let's say if you have an incident where you actually have to seek advice, which we have 24/7 emergency access, you're able to tap that app wherever it is, whether or not any part of the United States, you're able to actually seek an attorney within 15 minutes. That attorney's be able to represent you. So the process is easy. It's just a matter of sitting down with that person, having that conversation, and getting your affairs in order, especially when it comes to wills.
Okay, that's very good. It sounds very convenient. Now, I know I have some friends that really don't like to do a whole lot online, even though we know that there's some ways that you can trust communicating with individuals online. Is there a limit to talking on the phone with legal counsel if someone really wants to hear that voice and have a little more personal conversation?
So when it comes to speaking with the attorney about the consultation,
Okay.
Depending on what your counsel is, so when you first call in, you'll speak to a customer service rep,
Okay.
and they'll ask you what the area of law that you need to speak with an attorney about. And then maybe a little more extra detail so that the attorney can do some preliminary things before they make that call to you. But you'll hear back from an attorney within 4 business hours, and then that specializes in that area of law. And then they'll help consult you depending on what it is actually you need. Because there's consultation that could be just simple and not too complex, but then you might have some other areas where the attorney might have to do some digging. So depending on, what that situation is, most of our services, if anything, you'll get advice and a discount. So if you
Okay.
don't get anything else, you'll always get advice and a discount.
Okay, okay. That's great. That's very good. So are all type of legal services covered? Personal and business under your plans for
Yes,
LegalShield?
Yes, and we cover 15 areas of law. So if
Okay.
there's something that's not there, that's,
It's
usually-
very,
it's
very
broad.
way out there,
Yes,
right?
it's broad,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. So talk to me about Ladies of Justice. How did that come about?
Well, Ladies of Justice actually came in probably about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And it's just a way to have fun in the community and build social events. Help
Okay.
women discover their power and purpose and raise their confidence and awareness and just be their best selves and out here empowering others with this information.
Absolutely.
That's
And
absolutely.
in the way of a social setting. So
Yeah.
even like an interview like now, we're
Yes.
giving the information out, so people could understand what they have access to if they did not know that they could have access. And we've done quite a few events, right, G?
Really?
Yes,
Gigi,
yes.
we have done Wines and Wills.
Okay.
We've done Pack and Protect. And we have
That's
also
great.
done, we're about to do, which was the
Parents of college-bound students.
Parents of college-bound students, which is
Yes,
very important.
yes.
There's a lot of legalities that parents are unknown of when it comes to sending their child off to school and college, especially when they're in different states. And that's the great thing about our service too, because
Absolutely.
you have a home office in your home state. I should say a home law firm, I should say.
Okay.
A home law firm in your home state, and then you'll have access to the other law firms in the other states. So if your child is in Tennessee while you're in
this is
Connecticut,
good.
you're able to contact your home office, and then that home office contact the Tennessee home office and help you in that situation. So
Absolutely.
it's important. It's
It
very
is
important.
very important.
Yeah.
Very important. So you said a couple things that have my mind going here. You talked about events that you have coming up. Is that open to the public, or is that invitation only? How does that work?
It's definitely open.
It's
open?
open. It's open
Okay.
because we do a lot of combinations, either live events or we do stuff and we invite through Eventbrite.
Yes.
So it depends on the situation, but we're trying to do more live events.
Yes.
And what Michelle, during the time that Ladies of Justice came about, so did LegalShield en Español. So I
Okay.
just wanted to kind of like give a
Yeah,
shout out
tell
for
us
our
about that.
Hispanic community. Where in this case, it's basically the basic services of LegalShield, but it's just for the Hispanic community, empowering them as well with their businesses as well as their personal life events, no? But we've been able to do social events like El Poder Latino, which in this case, I'm able to actually just present the information about how they're able, cover their pain points.
Yes.
Why would you need a legal protection? And just cover those points. And not to do it as, I would say, the normal presentation. Is really to hone in, because the Hispanic community is a different culture. So
Yes.
we need to actually treat them a little bit differently.
Right, right. That's excellent. It sounds like you're covering all bases, and really making an opportunity for women to cover that area of their lives that we need covering, that legal counsel. Very good. Now, I know there's a lot of family matters that would come up that we could use legal counsel. Can you speak to any more of those type of situations?
So to make sure that people understand, we did I have one testimony about a situation where a father had his children almost not abducted, I don't want to say that word, but the social workers almost came to remove them from
Okay.
the house.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, he had his service. He was able to dial that 24/7 emergency access number I was telling you about. He was able to contact them and found out legally that they cannot come in his house and remove his kids.
Wow.
As long as he did not open that door, he could keep his kids in the house and he could not take them. So that was important.
Okay.
But another area that I think is very important is the will.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Will, yes, definitely so. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about wills. You want to, and we don't always go to legal counsel to get that
Absolutely. Yeah,
understanding.
that's correct.
So how does that help us? How does LegalShield help with the wills?
Well, right now with the wills, it's imperative. I can't emphasize the importance of getting it.
Okay.
Even your children need it. If like now I have a 23-year-old son,
Okay.
and as I was actually doing my will last year, my attorney basically said, Ms. Martinez, I noticed that you have a son that's 22. Have you ever thought of, God forbid, anything was to happen to him and he ended in the hospital? You would not have any rights to be able to talk to your provider, to their provider.
Okay.
And that was just like, I was floored. I was like, what do you mean? Especially because of HIPAA, so that's so important to actually be able to get your advance directive. So that really, as far as the will, Michelle and I, we actually team up and we do presentations regarding the will because we know of the importance of how it has impacted me. Personally, my ex-husband passed away without a will, and he died in the state of Mississippi. So I didn't know, he left something for my son, and I didn't know how even to go about going into a different state. So I was able to contact the attorney within here in Connecticut, who then referred me to a referral partner in Jackson County, Mississippi. And I was able to get the necessary advice from the attorney, which was simple because he died with it's called intestacy, where in this case he dies without a will. Because of the value of the money or the inheritance was less than 50, it was just a matter of actually filling out a form and have it notarized here in the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
So had I not known or have that legal advice, I would it would have gone probably I would not have actually been able to get that for my son. So it's important that we get our wills done and just share the information, and that's exactly what Michelle and I have been doing.
Yes.
Is really honing in on the importance of getting it, really going into kind of like the different languages that are used, the definitions.
Yes, that's always very important.
So we go a little bit deeper. And actually next week we're going to actually have, right, on June 6th is going to be a free, I would say, webinar that our dedicated law firm here in the state of Connecticut will be hosting. Okay. And it's for anyone that would be interested in learning a little bit about how to get their wills done.
For members and non-members.
Exactly.
For members and non-members.
This is the first time that they're doing that here in the
Yes.
state of Connecticut
okay.
for non-members as well. But yes, the law firm is actually the one that will be providing the information.
Okay.
So you'll see us up there because we'll definitely be on the Zoom as well.
Okay.
But yes, for members and non-members are able to get access to the information. I believe it's June 7th from 6 to 7.
Okay. If you don't see some of these dates for events that are coming up for LegalShield information, please be sure to contact Michelle and Gigi, and their contact information is there. Thank you for bringing up that talk about wills, because I know that people may have wills for themselves, but maybe they have family members that they're not really aware. And then does the legal counsel also help with power of attorneys or things like that nature?
Yes, definitely. It's part of the whole entire will is the estate planning complete
The whole
package.
estate planning
That's
package.
correct.
Yeah, because as we move into our aging, into our next stage of life, these documents are very important to make sure we have them in place.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
even if
can
you have to
understand this.
update it as well, that's critical as well. And sometimes, family members have, an attorney in their home and stuff like that, or in their family, right? But we also have to understand that, they may not be versed in all areas of law. And estate planning is very unique, especially when it comes into probate. So you want to make sure that you have someone that's versed in your state, most importantly.
Okay. And that's important what you just said, that we may even have a relationship, someone may have a relationship with legal already, but may not cover all areas of law where a membership with LegalShield would expose us to covering all of the situations that we have.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to share?
I definitely would like to share another testimonial just on
Okay.
how the services are used. So I have a member here, and he did 2 master degrees, right?
Yeah.
He's here in the state of Connecticut, but his master degrees was in Florida. Now, he went down, he's paid for his master degree, he passed, he aced them and everything. But they wouldn't give him his diplomas.
Oh, wow.
And he couldn't understand why. He went through the dean, he went through the professors, he just went through all the channels that he could outsource. And then he just remembered, you know what? I have my legal service, let me call. He called them. He heard back from the attorneys. The attorney sent a letter on his behalf, and within, I think, 48 hours after hearing from the attorneys, he got the phone call to tell him to come get his degrees.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yes.
And you know, the having to be able to reach out to legal counsel right away, that time frame that you're talking about, having response is really important today, because we know how things are very slow.
For sure.
Since we've come out of a pandemic,
Yeah.
it just seems like service is not what it used to be for us.
Right,
So I'm
absolutely.
happy to
And
hear
to your
about the
point,
time frame.
Yeah, and to your point, when you call on regular stuff, I know Gigi mentioned about the 365, the 365-day 24/7, which is emergency access. So for those particular issues, it's whether if you're arrested, detained, questioned by authority, or have a very serious accident where someone was hurt. That way you can get on the attorney and find out what your rights are with that. But on your regular day-to-day 9 to 5 issues, or I should say 8 to 5, or 8:30 to 5, 'cause I think that most of our law firms are open from 8:30 to 5.
Sure, there's
but,
business hours. Yes.
4 business hours. They have the obligation to get back with you in 4 business hours, not days, not weeks, not months, but hours. So
For hours.
4 hours.
Excellent.
So if you call early in the morning, you're sure to get a call within the afternoon. Or if you call in the afternoon, you should probably get one in the morning. Or I forgot our app, because everything is run out. I have an app,
Okay.
and you can schedule an attorney to call you.
Wow.
You can
Okay.
have ones personally.
So you can schedule an appointment on
an
your app.
attorney to have them call you at the time that you need to call. Because we know, especially for business owners, you're busy, you're in the day-to-day things. So how cool is that?
That's
Having
really
an
good.
attorney to call you
Yes,
back when
yes.
you want.
When you want. And that's important, because those business hours are someone else's business hours that you can't make those personal phone calls.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's really good. So this is an opportunity. LegalShield is open to women that are looking to take on another career path or something like that, correct?
Yes,
Can you talk
yes.
about the opportunity or how someone
Yes.
would inquire?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep on looking at your little cup there, fabulous
thank you.
life after 50,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's so critical that we need to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one of the things that I love as being an ambassador for Ladies of Justice is the opportunity of following my heart, following my passion to help those in the community with the information. Because I just see through my interactions and actually just speaking with the members thereafter of how much I was able to make a difference. You know, we're
Yes.
earning a living, but we're making a difference with those in the community. And we have the opportunity with Ladies of Justice to be able to engage in the community and provide and engage those that want to actually have that entrepreneur spirit. But we're a mission-driven initiative.
I like
and that's what
that.
it's all about.
Yes, it sounds like it, very much so.
And we're here. We help each other all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
We team
Yep.
up and we do
Yes.
events. We do vendor events.
Yeah.
You know, networking events.
That sounds wonderful. So lastly, I think we have time for a little bit more, one more question. If we take a membership, is that just for ourselves, or is that for, you know, can we share that within our household? Is there coverage within our household?
So who's covered? So you, the member, your
Okay.
spouse or significant other, as long as you're living in the same household, and children up to the age of 26, whether if they're living at home or in college.
Okay, all right. Well, this has
Absolutely.
definitely been a power time with you, talking about LegalShield and just making sure this aspect of our lives is covered. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl, for having us.
This has been wonderful. I really appreciate Gigi and Michelle being with me today and sharing this very valuable information. And I'd like to just remind my audience that if there's any programming, as well as this program, I'd love to hear your feedback. But if there's any programming you'd like to see, any guests on the program, or you'd like to be a guest, just let me know. Contact me at joyeditor19@gmail.com. And until next month, stay joyful.